Hey, I'm Dom Hind and fuck, I'm nearly 50. Actually, I'm 48 and a half and really starting the countdown now. There's this moment that starts creeping up on us a lot in our 40s. On paper, life looks pretty good, careers ticking along, families growing up, house, responsibilities, routine. But somewhere in the middle of all that, the world starts changing. Not slowly, fast. New technology, new ways of working, new ways of thinking. And suddenly there's this quiet question. Am I keeping up? Because most of us spend decades building careers in a world that made sense. Study hard, work hard, build the career, keep everything moving. And then the rules change. Artificial intelligence is suddenly everywhere, changing how we work, learn, create, and even think. For some people, that's exciting. For others, it's a bit overwhelming. And for a lot of people, it still feels like something to figure out later. But for others, and I'd put myself in that camp, it's already part of daily life. A thinking partner, a creative tool, a way of solving problems faster. And the gap between those two groups is getting bigger fast. Which brings me to today's guest. Dawid Naude is one of Australia's leading voices on artificial intelligence and the founder of Pathfindr, an AI innovation studio helping organisations actually use AI in the real world. But what makes Dawid interesting isn't that he just understands the tech. He understands what this shift means for humans. Because this isn't just about faster software. It's about something much bigger. For most of history, intelligence was scarce. You had to find experts, read books, study for years. Now it's everywhere. You can open your laptop and collaborate with something that can help you write, think, analyse, learn. So if intelligence is no longer scarce, what happens next? Because fuck, I'm nearly 50 and isn't it amazing? For most of human history, intelligence was something uniquely human. If you wanted ideas, insight, or advice, you asked a person, a teacher, a colleague, a mentor. But suddenly we're living in a world where intelligence is available on demand. You can open your laptop and collaborate with a machine that can help you write, design, analyse, brainstorm, and learn. And what's fascinating is how quickly people are adapting. For some people, AI still feels like a novelty. Definitely not me. For others, it's already becoming part of daily life. A research assistant, a creative partner, a thinking tool, which raises some fascinating questions. If we suddenly have access to intelligence on demand, what does that do to the way we think? How do we learn? How do we work? And what does it mean to be human in a world where intelligence is no longer scarce? Today's guest spends his life helping organisations navigate exactly these questions. Dawid Naude is the founder of Pathfindr and one of Australia's leading voices helping companies understand how to work with artificial intelligence in thoughtful and practical ways. Dawid, welcome to Fuck, I'm Nearly 50.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Let's start here. If someone isn't using AI in their day-to-day life, are they already behind?
No, they're not behind yet. Because a lot of the use of AI generally by most of the population, it is helpful, but it's not as if their whole world is completely changed because of AI. A lot of the daily use of most of the population is somewhat, I don't know, it's not that deliberate. It's fun, sure, definitely.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I think probably it would be mostly annoying if they weren't using AI and they had been using it. It's not as if all of a sudden their life collapses because of it and they can't do what they couldn't, or they're not able to really function. So, but there's a big shift that's happening right now where AI is much more than simply kind of an advisor. Actually, it can control the computer for you now, it can control the mouse, it can take action, it can be scheduled, it can monitor. And so you think of people who are doing their tax returns at the moment who actually know how to use AI, not just like the surface level things. They're probably going to get a bigger tax return than those who don't. And next year they'd probably be kind of clueless without AI if they had to do it again.
What happens if you lost AI? How would you feel in your day-to-day?
Well, given my whole employment and income comes from AI, I'd probably be broke. So firstly, it is fun. It is fundamentally fun. Now, that fun is not, yes, there's the actual fun part with like kids and family and that, where let's say it's a daughter's birthday party and you get it to create a song which has full Pass the Parcel and it has each of the attendees' names as part of the song. That's kind of cool and fun. But I think part of the most fun part of it is how you can do all these things that you couldn't do before. Not just do it faster, but like you and I were talking about vibe coding before. Yeah. And just how powerful that is, and how we always had to compromise with software, using these subscriptions that do things kind of how we want it, but not entirely. And, paying like $40-50 a month for software that does one thing, like a Kanban board or something like that, in kind of an average way. But now you can get it to do it your way, exactly how you want. But just the whole, yes, it's useful, but the act of creating it is so empowering and so much fun. And
I absolutely agree with that. Having managed teams and teams of developers, trying to get a developer to do exactly what you want takes time. Whereas using AI, you can customize it and you can control it and you can actually see what that output is. And it is really empowering.
And with the developer, I mean, the developers were as frustrated with us as we were with them, because we couldn't really articulate exactly what we wanted. So it would be like, I want you to do this. I wanted the software to behave this way, but it was mostly, I'll know it when I see it. And when they completed some work and shipped it back to you, you then start using it. Then you go, oh no, I also need these other 3 things. And so that whole loop took forever.
Yes.
And let's say you still did have a developer that actually built the thing for you. You could do all the prototyping, design, testing, everything like that before you hand it to them. I want something that looks exactly like this, behaves like this. So there's lots of different parts of the life cycle that it can help. Yeah,
I agree. And I think the cutting down the time frame, that's a massive thing as well.
Yeah, just that whole that whole idea or problem to idea to concept, like that going from weeks or months to an hour or 2, because you're just sitting in front of it and you're iterating. And these days what I'm doing is like we're busy doing a new strategy at work, and I was trying to find a way to visualize it to show the rest of the team. And I spent a long time, this was with ChatGPT, chatting with it, but then I asked it, can you generate 5 different images that each represent the new strategy? It has like six dimensions, as like a different way of visualizing it. But that was just so, and I said, can you make it look a bit hand-drawn so that it shows it's like a work in progress? But like seeing 5 different concepts going, oh, I love how that one looks there. Or maybe I like most of this one, but I really like the way it showed the icons of the 4th one, and then you kind of blend them together. Something like that is hugely powerful.
Yeah, it is really powerful. AI has technically existed for decades, but suddenly it feels like it is everywhere. Why does it feel like it's here right now?
Yeah, so AI has, I mean, firstly, it depends on the definition. So you could borderline argue that spell check is AI, right?
Or grammar, or
whatever. There's so many things, but AI, the way we use AI today, that is actually very new. So that's all from a technology called a large language model, which was theory in 2017. It was a white paper that was published called Attention is All You Need by a bunch of researchers, primarily from Google's research lab. The technology behind the large language model, that has been around for a long time, neural networks and deep learning. But it's hard. It's actually, I'd say the way AI kind of actually showed up in most of our lives before large language models was like Google Maps.
Yeah.
You know, but you couldn't get Google Maps to, critique a strategy paper for you. It could only do one very narrow thing very, very specifically and very well. And that was always the indicator. Well, AI will be something that is not just specific to one task. It can do lots of things very, very well, or even okay. It doesn't even need to do it very well. And that's where large language models just kind of arrived. And so you had this theory of the large language model, specifically the transformer in it that made it happen in 2017. And then 2020 onwards, you had a lot of researchers, but particularly OpenAI, with their first GPT model, second GPT model. But then we had ChatGPT be released, which was simply meant to be a demo, just a demonstration for their GPT platform that software engineers would use.
Right.
But people didn't know it existed. And they said, well, when people log into our OpenAI platform and play with our API, there was a little chat feature there where a developer could just put something in and they could see what the response is. And they could see that this was really, really well used. And so they thought, well, why don't we make this publicly available so that people can play with the API chat with ChatGPT, to sell the API, so to advertise it. But then it became the product. That's what happens. And I was really fortunate actually to be in San Francisco at OpenAI with Sam Altman about a month ago. And I asked him a question around what's the long-term game here? What should we all be doing to kind of win in 3 years' time? Yeah. And he paused for a very long time. And that was the example that he gave around actually he thinks that tactics become strategy. It's more the small things that you just stumble upon as you're pursuing some bigger strategy that usually ends up becoming the strategy. And that was the example he used of ChatGPT.
But it is, because when you are, like when you're vibe coding, when you are using it to try and do deep thinking, it does spit out new things that you don't normally think of. And those little things can then become the seed to something bigger.
Yeah, definitely. And you go down tangents and all of that and explore wide. And then it's just crazy how many hours disappear as well. Like I feel like I think most people who use AI a lot, they're working more than they've ever worked before.
Couldn't agree more.
They're doing a lot more stuff. Sometimes they're not completing a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm definitely guilty of that. And it's probably it's just a stage thing where we're at right now. We're getting so excited about building a website, but then we're not actually publishing that website. You've got to ship.
Pushing it out.
So, and then anybody who has actually shipped like some product that they've built or website, you know that the last like 90% of the work that you do on that is actually removing things and just sharpening and polishing all the things that you actually want out there.
Yeah, okay. I'm definitely guilty of that, because your brain goes, oh my God, what about this? What about this? But you don't ever publish it.
Yeah.
Well, I have published a few things, but that's okay. For most of history, intelligence was scarce. You had to find experts, study, read books. Now suddenly we have intelligence on demand. Do you think we've fully grasped how profound this shift is?
I don't think we have. And I think also just how different it is today to a month ago before the release of GPT 5.6 and ChatGPT work and Fable. Yeah. It just feels again we've just shifted again. I think one of the big shifts that's happened in the last month is just how powerful it is at doing the execution for you.
So that has been game changer.
Absolutely. So in the example of the website, right? Yeah. So let's say you're somebody who's never published a website before, and then you sit and you use Claude Code or Codex from OpenAI or just even in ChatGPT work, and you build a whole website. There's a lot of websites that exist there, but they've never been published because it's just too hard and people aren't sure, okay, well, how do I get a domain? How do I get a web host?
Yeah.
How do I do DNS registration and all of that? But because these platforms can now control your computer, control the mouse, control the browser, just saying to it, okay, I've built this amazing thing, but I don't know, I actually want to host this now and I have a website. What do I do next? And it going, well, first let's get a domain for you. I'll go to GoDaddy and I'll search, and then it'll go, okay, well, let me now go and get a host for the web space, and then it'll say, oh, I'm on this webpage now. Can you just create a password and then let me know when you've done that, and I'll take over again. For somebody who's not technical, which is most of the world, like that last mile is terrifying. Like you're talking about DNS configurations and all this, but now AI just being able to do that for you, I think is an absolutely massive shift forward. Even something as simple as, oh, here's all the add-ons that they recommend for your basket, and AI saying, no, you don't need those things. The odds of that you needing any of those things that's not necessary.
It's interesting. So I use Lovable a lot. So, but I know you're OpenAI, but I use Claude and Lovable a lot together, and even just the connection to the domain name, like all of that is just so easy now, like so easy.
And all these platforms, it's not. Sometimes people ask, "Oh, should you use ChatGPT instead of Claude or Lovable and instead of other platforms?" Yeah, exactly. It is in some ways like talking about which gym you should go to.
Well, that's it. It's whatever, and everyone
go to the gym. Use the set of dumbbells under your table. That's going to be the thing that determines whether you're fit or not. Not the brand of not if it's Lululemon or like North Face shorts that you wear. Like that's actually like the act of using it is going to be the difference between getting success or not.
Yeah, and you know what? Even when you do use it, you then do understand what the differences and nuances are between them. So then you work out what your preference is as soon as you start using and playing with it. So it is, user, just try.
Pick a problem and if you don't know where to start, ask it. Like say, hey, I've been told I should try using you. Like,
what do I do?
What do I do?
Do you know what the best thing that I did while we're on holidays was I actually asked Claude and said, I've been using you for a long time now. Can you please tell me how I can use you better? And it was amazing. It got me to set up projects and put in all of my files into projects, make sure that I had, it actually tells you how to use it better. And it was game-changing.
Yeah, and even what you said there, that's probably like one. There's a couple of like top tips like that, like using projects that make a phenomenal difference to the output. If you did something like that, I've been using you for a long time. How could I use you better? But can you also have a look at my calendar for the next few weeks and see how I should use you in the next couple of weeks? And it'll go, well, I can see that you've got a sales proposal call in 2 weeks' time. I know that you used me to research and all these things. How about you use me to actually create the proposal itself? And that type of thing where it strings that context together, it's very good.
I think the context, bringing it into your life rather than just using it as an external tool is a great thing to do as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Particularly with what's happened, over the last few months with how integrated it can be.
Yeah, and also just pick one tool and use it as much as possible, because it does get to know you. Yeah, that's been one big advancement in the last year is how good it is at. It's just gotten so much better at learning about you, forming an internal memory about you. Yes. Reading through other chats that you have, and then also as it's connected now into email and calendar and things like that. It's really good. Even now, how it will say, "Hey, can I?" It'll propose when you open it up suggested things like, can I help you prepare for the podcast this afternoon?
Yeah, can it? No. Can it be me? No. Whenever new technology arrives, people worry about jobs disappearing. Which jobs do you think will change the most over the next decade, and where do you think the biggest opportunities are?
So so jobs where there's no execution, just advice, that needs to be relooked at. What
As in professional services?
Professional services.
Yep.
So, but it's also looking at what is it that they were actually buying from you. So if you take like a financial advisor, AI is definitely going to, there's no question that AI can do a better job than that financial advisor at crafting a really good financial plan, battle testing and all of that. But I'd question whether that was the reason why the person had engaged the financial advisor in the first place. I actually think it was like trust.
Trust, it is 100%
trust. And
trust.
Going like, I'm overwhelmed. I want a person that I can talk to about this. And I want a person to tell me, I've spoken with 100 clients in your situation, and I know that you've made some financial decisions that you might regret, but you're actually okay. And let's first figure out where you're trying to get to. Let's have an honest assessment about where you're at right now, what you're willing to change, what you're not willing to change, and let's focus on that. And I think it's the same for a lawyer. Like ChatGPT can definitely be a fantastic lawyer. But
it writes amazing legal documents.
Yeah,
but
you've been sued a lot. No, I'm kidding.
No. I've been suing a lot. No, joking.
But you want to sit down with a lawyer over a coffee and you want that conversation to be about, I know that this is a tough negotiation, but let's actually talk through how we're going to win this thing. Now, if you are a financial advisor or a lawyer, if you are arguing why you're better than AI and why AI will never come for your job, well, then every time AI improves, you become more desperate.
Yeah.
But if you just change your mindset and your conversations with your prospects and clients are, we're going to come up with a strategy, then we're going to battle test that strategy with the best AI tools that are available at the moment. That means every time AI improves, you improve. Your whole service improves.
Yeah.
So you rise with the tide. And so sometimes it is just a mindset thing. I think execution is going to be critical. So you think of management consultants that all that they do is produce a PowerPoint deck and then wash their hands of whether it works or not.
Oh, yeah.
Those days, I think that they were gone a long time ago. But now they're definitely
have just announced they're sacking 1,000 people.
Yeah, and that's like all of the big four are they've had all problems in the last couple of years, and outside of them, all the listed ones have had huge impact to their share price and that, and I think. And that's where I think AI is also now really moved up a notch from. It's gone from just being an advisor to it actually being able to do it for you. I don't think that the bell curve is ever going to change. So I think you're always going to have the people that take shortcuts, cheat, or lazy. You're always going to have that small group. They're not going away. You're always going to have the group in the middle that kind of do their job, live for the weekend, all of that. And then you're going to have the top end of the bell curve where they're going to leverage this to go to the complete next level, and it's going to energize them, excite them, and all that. So I don't think that's going to change. There is going to be definitely a systemic shift, but we've also been dealing with that in Australia for ages. Yeah. You think of all the bigger organizations that are trying to offshore staff and all that. But I think one thing that a lot of people miss is that most of Australia is employed by small businesses. Yeah. Like it's something like 56%. I'm going to botch the figure, but it's a huge figure. I
think it's even higher.
Yeah, I think it's higher,
like
exactly.
65 or something. Like there's
not a single small business. There's literally not one single small business in Australia that says the number one thing we need next year is less people. Yeah. Like there's literally not one.
Well, like, how as a trade can it's booming still, even with the downturn in the economy, it's still booming for the trades.
And you think of how there's probably excellent tradespeople out there that can't be found because they've got a terrible website or no website, that are paying too much tax because they don't use a good accountant, that have contracts that don't protect them or their clients appropriately, because they're one man in a van. Yeah. And I just think some of my electrician friends, but now they can actually get like expert advice and all of that, and
a presence.
Yes, definitely, for sure. They can get a website up and running. They can get a social media campaign. They can there's so much that they can do.
Yeah. I do think, coming back just to the professional services people, because there's been a lot of talk about how there is going to be a massive change in the way that they deliver or what they're doing. But if you become a concierge where you are the interface to what the people need to do with the trust, with building that, that relationship, there is still a massive role. You won't be selling time and materials anymore, but you will be selling the value and the knowledge that you have.
People want service providers that they can just leave to get the job done, and they focus on putting out a fire that person can't get done. And I think whilst there are a lot of people that are vibe coding, building their own software and websites and all of that, I think there's a lot of people that are happy to just get somebody else to do it for them whilst they spend time with customers and all that. But I also think there's so many businesses or software platforms even out there that don't exist today because the economics just don't stack up. So you think of like some kind of CRM management platform or something for managing dry cleaning businesses.
Yep.
Like there's no Silicon Valley company that would focus on doing that because there's just the market's not big enough to justify it and pay for it and all of that. Whereas now, if you did run a dry cleaning service, you could actually vibe code. Literally, you could do this, create your own platform that helps you manage it. Now you can sell that platform to all the other dry cleaners that will be happy to pay for that platform because it does exactly what they need it to do in your language. It's perfect. So I think all of the new software and new businesses and entrepreneurship and all of that, that's what I get really excited about.
It's interesting. So I redid that for our agency, and my husband's like, you need to go and market this. And I'm like, nah, I just can't be bothered. Like I just did it because it was something I was interested in. I don't want to be selling software. But it gives you that flexibility to be able to do whatever you need, customize it specifically for you.
Yeah, and also you think of all the invisible work for. You think of teachers. You think of tennis coaches. You think of they're on the tennis court all day, and then they finish work, and now they've got to go do all their invoicing, respond to all the queries, do all the planning for the next week, and until 11 p.m. and then get up the next day and do it all again. So I just think. Those people I just think there's enormous opportunity for people to get a lot of time back to focus on the things that matter.
Enormous opportunity for humans.
Yeah. Literally.
Just literally for everyone.
Yeah.
One thing you talk about a lot is the importance of tinkering with AI tools. Do you think the people who thrive in this next era won't necessarily be the smartest, but will be the ones who have actually dipped their toe in the water?
Yeah, definitely. I think in some ways the core rules of innovation aren't going to be different. It's going to be around those who actually get their hands dirty, who are optimists. So they'll go, let's actually think there's something here. Let's try this. Not all of it's going to work, but let's try this. Let's build something. But the reason why this is more important than ever is it's a very strange technology. It's very weird. Like we've never had a technology like this before that can kind of do everything, but it's just a simple prompt input. And so to actually know how it works properly, go to that next level of depth. 99% of people are never going to go past like a millimeter deep with AI. Like they're not even going to go to projects in Claude, as you mentioned there, which makes a huge difference. They're not going to know exactly which models to use for which task and all of that. It's not hard to do those things, but most won't. Anybody who tinkers, figures that stuff out, they're going to be miles ahead of the rest. But it's still going to require the guts, particularly in entrepreneurship, to do something, take a risk, market it, get it out there, convince a customer to pay for it and put their trust in you. So those fundamentals are still going to be the same. I just think the opportunity is going to be so much bigger because a lot of those hurdles are going to be removed for many entrepreneurs that wouldn't have been able to do it otherwise because they don't have access to good legal or marketing or something like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. One idea I heard you talk about was AI being a universal tutor. Do you think this technology could fundamentally change how people learn throughout their lives?
Absolutely. I think that's probably number one reason why I'm such an AI optimist, possibly naively. I'll be the first to admit that. But I mean, there's been studies before saying that optimists are luckier than people who are cynics, just because they try more things and it's but I think the education side is so I think of I wasn't a very good student. I really struggled with attention back then. They just call you lazy. These days it's like ADHD, but they just call you lazy back then.
Or distracted.
Yeah, exactly. It's every single report card I ever had was the same. It's like, David's really smart. He just needs to learn how to pay attention. Yeah. It's like, I wish that more for me than you do. I just couldn't. And so I had a fantastic maths tutor that I used to meet for an hour each week. She was amazing. But not many people can afford that privilege. And that's 1 hour a week for one subject. AI is so powerful as an academic tutor, but also this is a little bit tougher and there's more nuance, but definitely kind of as a mentor, just to like vent to and things like that. But let's just box in the teaching and academics first. You could go to it. I've got an 11-year-old, and he could say to it, "Teach me quantum physics in the style of Mario Kart."
Yeah.
And it will make it relatable for an 11-year-old. It will use Mario Kart as examples of explaining it, so it becomes very relatable. And he'll be able to say, okay, so does it work like this? And it'll come back and say, look, you're 80% of the way there. These concepts you explained were right. This 20% is not quite right. Think of it more like that way. Doesn't need to give you the answer. It can help you. Yeah. It is mind-blowing. And now also with the newer visualization features, like if let's say you're wanting to understand how tides work, first AI was great at that on text. Then it was great at it at voice, so now I could just talk to it. But now what it does really well is, well, yes, it could create the visualizations and diagrams using image generator. It could do that very well. But now it's really good at creating little tools that would be like an animation with little dials that you could move up and down and show you how like the moon moves and the waves are drawn to it. And that's completely engaging. I mean, that's the whole concept of flow. That flow state is where the challenge and your ability to meet the challenge kind of intersect at this perfect point. If it's too challenging, then it's anxiety. If it's not challenging enough, it's boredom. But AI will always be able to match where you're at. Yeah. For us, it's actually made in some ways worse. So like Liam, my son, he's very bored at school in maths and science. Those are the things that he thrives. So what we've done at home is we've gotten him to use some AI tools as a bit of a teacher tutor and extend him on those things. But it's now put him even further ahead at school with those things and made him more bored. Yeah, right. But I think one of the big misconceptions of school is that it is primarily education. Like, it's not true. Education is part of it. It's also part socialization.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's daycare.
Yeah.
So the parents can go to school, can go to work.
Yep.
And so I think that schools need to be completely redesigned.
I could not agree more.
There should be a couple of hours where it's just them and their AI teacher. It takes the load off the teacher as well, like needing to know everything about chemistry.
Every child is different.
Absolutely.
Every child is different, and everyone has different learning styles and different ways of staying engaged. So even like over the holidays, I got my kids' report cards, and I took the report cards from the last 3 times that they had, uploaded them, and then created a tutor for them based on where they were actually needing the help. But if that's what it needs to be, that customized learning for them so that they can actually be getting ahead.
Definitely. And you just think, I mean, all of us can think to a teacher that really had an impact with us at school. It was never really because they were so intelligent. It was actually, it was something around their warmth.
Also the connection.
The inspiration,
like
the connection
that they had.
So let's make teachers do that, like where it's more around mentoring and inspiration and guidance and not trying to force somebody who's not that good with like economics be an inspiring economics teacher for year 12s, right? Like I think now some of this could be way off because I'm not a teacher, but like I just know how powerful this stuff is at being a teacher for any age.
And even coming back to the view on being a mentor, whether it's business or whatever, the great thing about AI now is you can actually get it to think as if you are, you know, whoever you want it to be. I know you love Richard Branson. So, you know, it could be, think about that you are Richard Branson, give me the advice or give me something. This is a situation. How could I handle it? Like, it is such a great way of framing it.
It is. I think that's one of the best ways anybody can use it is as a bit of a coach. Let's say it's not even a coach, just even a sounding board, a reflection tool. This is where the more you use it, the better it will be because it'll start picking up patterns in your thinking of how you deal with it. It did this for me actually very recently, just a few days ago. So I have a project on my ChatGPT called Resilience, and so it's any content that I find is really good around mental and physical resilience. There's a couple of articles that I have grounded in there, but it's where I sometimes do a very long conversation with it to if I'm feeling particularly burnt out or something like that. But it's also where I do daily chats and reflections with it. And it did this observation with me a few days ago where it said, from our chats over the past few weeks, I noticed that when you're chatting to me about building, then you're incredibly energized. And when you're chatting to me about these things, this is when you usually seem to be in a state of anxiety or a bit more of a distressed state. And so it was crazy how it just kind of offered that up. And if you do have inspirational people that resonate with you, it makes AI's job a lot easier because you can say, can you now reframe this? What would they do if it was Richard Branson or if there's a negotiator called Chris Voss.
He's great.
He's awesome. You could say it could be sales or even like a difficult conversation. He talks a lot about that. Let's say you had to break some really bad news to a client. And you could say, okay, can you help me through this as if Chris Voss was giving me advice? That's very, very powerful.
See, even for me, like I've got my board of directors in my head of when I need some advice, I go to, or, think about it and try and frame it from what they would try and give me that advice. And having those board of directors in AI, it actually helps when you do need that advice.
It's I couldn't agree more. It's amazing. One powerful way I used it recently was if you say let's say there's some behavior from somebody that you're working with either in your team or a client or friend, family, whatever it is. Like my style has always been like quite maybe quite impatient. So just like going
as in direct.
Just direct and also like unrealistic with expectations that they're here and they're just going to move to here like almost instantly. And
you think that they're like you.
Which is horrible. But there was once recently over the last couple of weeks where it was like, well, no, in order for somebody to be fully engaged, they need to have these types of needs addressed. And it was like they need a sense of agency, they need a sense of community of people that they're interacting with, and also they need to have a sense of mastery, like they're getting, and went into the research and science behind that. And they said, look, the way to kind of build that up in somebody is they need to go through these steps. And so for the next couple of weeks, just give them this task that that'll allow them the ability to flex agency and mastery, and be able to share it with these people, and that'll address those things. But it actually started working, and so but I had to actually have patience, and this is where it said, like, over the next 4 weeks, this is how you should
do it,
how you should do that. But that was I definitely wouldn't have. Before that, I think I just would have been the approach, just get on with it. Come on.
Just do it. Just do it. What are you doing? I can't understand why you haven't done it.
Yeah.
This podcast is really about the moments of approaching 50 where many of us start reflecting on what comes next. Some people might feel technology is leaving them behind. What would you say to someone in their 40s or 50s who feels overwhelmed by how fast things are changing? And is it too late? And what should they do right now?
That's an excellent question. Okay, so if you think of, let's say somebody's 18.
Yeah.
They've just finished school. They've been using tech for a long time, been addicted to it, all of that. That's... Like, it's very easy to learn what they know. Like, it's very easy. It's very easy to learn how to use AI. If you're in your 40s, it's very easy. You know, what's really hard is to accumulate like 20 years worth of interpersonal relationships, nuance, just all the gut feel type of reading the room and interactions.
But also structuring prompts as well. Like, I mean, because English was drilled in of certain form factors, ways that you're supposed to do things.
Even problem solving, like even that process. So I think one of the biggest things that AI offers to somebody who's later in their career is, unfortunately, at the moment, you're probably spending like 70-80% of your day doing things that you're already quite good at very early in your career.
Yeah. Whereas
now the idea is that hopefully a lot of that stuff can be removed, and you can actually spend most of your time doing the things that you're really, really excellent at, that has taken that long to accumulate. And I think mostly that will be relationships. It will be teamwork. It'll be creating new things. It'll be experimentation. It'll be building fantastic client relationships. And so I think, and spending a lot more time with your clients. Like, you think of somebody who's, let's say, like in sales or something in their 40s, like their customers don't want them to be cheaper and ultra super duper efficient. It's actually, their customers probably just want them to spend more time with them, and they want to spend more time with their customers as well, but they're just filled with all this garbage every day. And so I think there's enormous opportunity. It's just have an open mind and start tinkering, start playing. Go watch all the free resources you can find online. Like Claude has a fantastic academy. OpenAI has a fantastic academy. It is completely free. 99% of people have never even watched the 101 video, let alone the 102, let alone the one on sales and marketing and HR and all of that. They're so remarkable. Much. There's so much.
But I think it even, when I first started using this, like a long time ago, I think I even said, can you give me a 2-week plan?
Yep.
I've got 15 minutes a day. Give me stuff that I should be looking at, whether it's videos or an article to read.
And that's so a couple of years ago, that was a brilliant way to get started. Now, these days, what you can say is go through my calendar and give me a 2-week plan, and it'll be able to give you some ideas of how to apply AI to the work that's already in your calendar. And that's really good.
Yeah. Yes, I think so too. If someone wants to become really fluent with AI over the next 2 years, how much of an advantage do you think that will be?
If they become really fluent, they're playing a different game to everybody else. Like, this is not so this is the if you are using AI better than others, you're playing a different game now. Like, this is, and it's not a little bit better. It's not as if it's not like your car gets like, 100 kilometers per liter and mine gets like 70 kilometers per liter. Like, it's not going to be like that at all. It's going to be you are doing 10 times as much as the other person. It's not even about volume. It's just you're doing it so much better.
Yeah.
You might be somebody in, let's just use a sales example. You might still only be meeting 5 prospects a week, 2 people. They're both meeting 5 prospects a week, but you're closing every single one of those deals, and the other person is closing some, because those 5 deals, for every single one, you turn up and you've got a brilliant briefing where it's researched everything about them, the problems in their industry, all of that. But you've taken the time to read it, to build empathy, to understand it, to think how you're going to have this conversation so you're completely present. Whereas the other person who's using AI but not that well, or just even not that good an operator, they're using it to rewrite the email that they send afterwards. And so AI doesn't totally replace good leadership and like being a good operator either. Like it's
or a good person. And
absolutely.
Even in the day-to-day, like I hate cooking. I hate it. It's the bane of my existence. So now I will just take a photo of what is in my fridge, what is in my pantry, and say, can you give me a meal plan for the next week? So that I don't have to buy anything and I can use everything that's there. And even that is taking the mental load off something I hate.
Exactly.
To do something I actually enjoy doing.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Like there's a lot of things like that where, the conversation might be, but AI, like.
You can't use your brain, or you
exactly.
It's like, I don't care. I don't
want to do that thing. No. It's like like fast food didn't kill home cooking. No. Like it's like
but it's even with cooking when the stress of when you've got people over, I will now say, this is what I'm cooking. Yeah. We are eating at this time. Can you tell me minute by minute or 15-minute increments what I need to do when so that I'm not stressed?
The crazy thing is that now with these newer features where it can control the browser so well is it being able to actually go and do the online shop for you.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Like that's wild as well. Just going that next mile. No, I completely agree. There's so many things you think of.
Even just the boring stuff that you want to just get it out of your mental load. If it can take that off so that you're doing something interesting.
Yeah, like tax time as well. Like I don't get it. Yeah. I don't get. I'm not losing any sleep over the fact that I'm using AI, like I should be using my brain to manually go through and find invoices in my email and all of that to claim deductions. Like I'm not losing sleep over that. Like no. I'm very happy to get that time back to have a more compliant and accurate and successful tax return.
Yeah. I'm even using it for looking at the bank statements going, what are my active subscriptions?
Yes.
So that I can then go, well, I'm not actually using these 5. I will get rid of them.
That it's wildly powerful for that. If you do that, put like the last. This is where you need something like Claude Co-work or ChatGPT work. But if you download the statements and transactions of say the last year across your bank accounts and your credit card, and then put it on a high level of thinking and tell it to actually do like a full financial analysis and all of that. Maybe you don't want to see the results.
Yeah, no, I know, that's it. It's like, when do we go traveling? No.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe I'll do that and I won't show anyone else. No. But it's taking away all the boring stuff so you can actually enjoy.
And I wouldn't have done that anyways. Like it's been something that's been on the list for a bazillion years. Some people are budgeters and they've got a pretty little spreadsheet at home that they put every single transaction in and all of that. I've tried that a couple of times, some New Year's resolutions that like, hey, I'm going to have a budget this year, and then that lasts for like all of a day. Yeah. But now AI can actually like help with that because it's hard. It's just hard for me. I don't like doing that. And AI, it's your choice. Like if you don't have to, like you decide the role it plays in your life, and we still go to the cinema to go watch movies, even though you can watch it at home. Like there's experiential things. Like it's never just about efficiency. Like you decide how much you want to immerse yourself in things. But I find I'm using my brain way more because of AI.
I agree. I'm using my brain better for more innovation and more how can I simplify and solve this rather than in the admin crap. And I don't want to be doing admin crap. I want to be thinking.
Yep, completely agree. And it offers so much potential there.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Do you think things like degrees and traditional intelligence, even what we think of as being smart, still matter in an AI world?
So if I take like my uni degree, there were a lot of kind of commerce and management subjects, and then there were the technical subjects like computer science and things like that. Those commerce type management subjects, I really don't know if they did anything for me at all. Computer science was challenging and rewarding and all of that.
But see, I think because I did an IT, but computer science was great because it taught you structure. Like it taught you if then else, like it actually taught you that. But we were learning Pascal, which was from the 70s,
Delphi,
in the 90s, and you just go, it's not relevant. But the structure was good and the thinking patterns.
And also you were creating, something, you were building something, you could see if it works or it didn't. Whereas these type of vague management subjects, I don't know how much value that had. But university, probably for me, university, the number one thing for me was the friends that I made, the college pub, all of that type of stuff. And so it's not just all about kind of education, but that is one thing that...
or it's not about academics. I think
exactly
that is it. Like, I think we put so much pressure on kids today to get the best mark when in reality you can get into a degree after a year of doing arts or something else. Like, it's not, we just put so much stress.
I think like when you finish school 17, 18, that's so young. You do wonder, like, if you're not sure what you want to do, and it'd be surprising if you did know exactly what you'd want to do at that age. Even if you did think you knew, you probably don't. Like, uni is such a great place to go and, like, have fun, explore, friends, all these different subjects, and, like, just great life experience as part of that as well. But I do think, I just think the opportunity for entrepreneurship and projects, like ideally you're building something, you're shipping something with people, like you're actually running an e-com website with a few people. Like, imagine if uni was more around that. I'm not sure. It's hard. Yeah.
But I mean, this comes back to the whole thing about education. Like, I do think there needs to be a lot more practical. Like, when kids leave school now, they're not work ready. They've been educated, but they're not work ready. They don't know how to work. And I mean, we've had so many graduates in our time where the first 3 to 6 months is teaching them how to work.
Yes, 100%.
And how to be practical. They think that all the theory that they get at uni will be applied to work, and it's just not. It's
not true. I mean, the real world, particularly with corporates and jobs and all that, is far more dysfunctional than they're made to believe at uni. So I've actually got, I think it's a little video on YouTube that I have that is like advice for new grads. And I think that the one that I open with is like, look, you were hired here for your attitude, not your expertise.
Yeah.
It's like, just like, it was the attitude that you had in the interview process that was the reason why you were hired. Like, what do you know? You know theory.
Yeah.
But the real world is going to be very different. But if you're super curious, if you're super humble, if you ask for help, if you're the most helpful person in the room, wherever you go, those are the people that thrive. And particularly if you do the small things really well, you'll get permission then to do the bigger and bigger things. We've all worked with people that have entered the workforce, and no matter what you give them, they always have the excuse it's not a good use of their skill set. And it's like, and they mess those things up. How can I trust you with running a marketing campaign if you can't even send out the invitations for a small internal event? Those types of things. But I think the attitude and then resilience and all of that is still going to be the most important things.
Yeah, we always used to say good heart, good mind. And that was the number one reason why you were hired.
That's really good.
If you didn't have it, get out.
Yeah. I like that. Good heart as well.
Good heart, good mind. Okay, so rapid fire questions. AI in one word. And game changing is 2, so you can't use it.
Potential.
Oh, good one. The biggest myth about AI.
That it trains on your data.
One skill.
But I'll just say.
Yeah. Go on.
Like, look into it. You've got to change the setting and all that.
Yeah,
but if you've got to get the right license. If it's free, you're giving something up.
Yeah.
So,
but if it is free, like this is where
it's financially free, but
it's financially free, but there's always a cost.
Exactly. It's always been in tech. Been in tech. You trade data for value. So trade cash for value instead of data.
Yeah, I agree. One skill everyone should be developing right now.
I think I wanted to say prompting, but that's a bit cliched. I'd say tinkering, just playing with AI and knowing which models to use.
Yeah, I think that's the
number one thing.
Model.
Just the drop down of knowing when do you use
each
like
one.
The thinking model versus the instant. That's going to solve 90% of your problems.
And also with the prompting, you can get them to prompt.
Exactly.
So you just need to understand if they're going to write the prompt, what are you going to use to actually answer the prompt?
You can also say, ask me 5 questions before answering, and then it's going to tell you what it needs to know for the prompt.
Yeah.
So there's lots of those things.
Yeah. Okay, good. Most exciting thing about the next decade?
All the entrepreneurial opportunities, all the businesses that will exist because of AI. And I'm not talking, people think we're talking about AI jobs. I'm talking about the artisan bangle maker who makes bangles from seashells, but there's never really been a business in that. But now they can get an e-com website up and a million other things.
Even like everyone at the markets now. At the markets, they thought that their shop front was just the market. Now they can easily just get something up.
Exactly. You see what like Uber Eats did for places that made pizza.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, Domino's and Pizza Hut and all of that. I mean, how many people cry that there aren't as many Domino's places? Like, not many. Like, it's because we go into Uber Eats, like because you have access. Like the So I think that's what's really inspiring. I also think the fact that top class, exceptional, best in class, best in the world education will be available universally, because these things don't use much like internet or traffic data. So you could have like a weak 3G signal in the middle of regional South Africa, and that is enough to have ChatGPT to be the world's greatest teacher of any academic subject at any level, borderline in any language. How far can we go with this? We have no idea.
Well, I mean, knowledge is power, particularly in those areas as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, your mood in one word right now.
Impatient.
Great. Okay. What's the one truth about artificial intelligence that people need to hear?
It's for everybody.
Yes. I think it's for everyone, and I do really like the data. Like, if you're not paying, you're giving something.
Absolutely.
So pay
it's a tool worth
and
paying
protect yourself.
And it's a tool worth paying for. Like, it's just a $200 a month pro subscription is that's well used, is far cheaper than a $20 just plus subscription where you're just fumbling around. Like, this is the amount of value that it creates for you is not nearly proportionate to the fee that you pay for it. It's crazy. So yeah.
Until your credits just keep getting out of control.
Yeah, for sure. And that's where you need to know models, right? Because you don't need to use a chainsaw to like cut through a piece of lukewarm butter.
No, that's it. But see, that's where it's interesting. So for me, how I use Claude versus Chat, like Chat is just give me directional, quick answers. I don't know, you're probably different about, but whereas for me, Claude is more that engaged, in depth co-worker rather than assistant.
Well, for us, I mean, we use all of them, but because OpenAI arrived in Australia before Anthropic did, and business-wise, we had a few major rollouts with them, and so we've always gotten to know that platform, but they're both fantastic tools.
Yeah.
Claude has always had a really nice style to it. They've put an enormous amount of effort into the personality of Claude, and so Claude was. I always used to make a joke, Claude people are typically a bit better looking, and just a bit cooler. And then they launched Claude Cowork, which all of a sudden was like, holy cow, this is not just a style thing. This is actually doing things that the other platforms can't.
Yeah.
But now they're starting to all look and feel the same and kind of copying each other and stealing each other's talent, and they're all suing each other and all of that. So I think it's still about I'd say pick Claude or ChatGPT. Then you can't go wrong. Just use either of those. Yeah. They're the two frontier leaders, and just go. Maybe 5 years from now, if somebody listens to this podcast, they'll go, it's what? Yahoo and MySpace? What are they talking about? It's web messenger, MSN Messenger. What's that tool? But we'll see. But at the moment, just use those platforms. They're both fantastic bets and great tech.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, 2 questions to go. If someone listening wanted to start experimenting with AI right now, what's the simplest thing they could try? I think it's downloading the apps, isn't it?
Yeah, and exactly what you said, they're downloading. So the web version of these tools, they're fantastic. But what Claude Cowork did was really spearhead, if this lives on your desktop and it has access to folders and it can control your computer and all of that, now all of a sudden it goes from being an advisor to a worker.
Yeah.
And so I would do that, and I would do that, and actually in some ways it seems a bit counterintuitive, but actually use that to build an app to help you. That will help demonstrate a lot of different things. That the fact that anybody can create things now that can vibe code, it's going to be immediately useful for you. It's going to demonstrate the breadth of the technology, something like that. Look at your calendar for next week. That's what you do.
This probably builds into you. Look at your calendar. What 3 habits should someone start building now with AI?
Great question. Okay, so there's a couple of foundational ones that will help everybody. So top tips in how you use AI. So get into the habit of
do you open it every morning? Is that your first app you open? It is one of the first ones I open. Okay, sorry. So the first one I open is I open up X, and then I just look at. I have just literally I have a list just called AI Founders, and it just has it has Sam Altman and all those guys, and that's how you find out and the leakers, what's actually happening, and the leakers, right? That are on the inside and of what's happening, and then after that. Sometimes I'll do ChatGPT, particularly work with that. But then, so top tip with AI, first, know the models and particularly thinking mode. It's going to solve 95% of your problems. The second is get into the habit of telling it, ask me 5 questions before answering. Don't worry about learning prompting at the beginning, just do that. And the third massive top tip is then push the little dictate microphone button, and just when you're answering those 5 questions, just ramble into it. More is more. But you're not trying to give an answer in a minute. You can spend 10 minutes. Give it as much context as possible. It's borderline these days. AI can, if you give it enough context and you give it enough reasoning, so enough thinking, it feels like it can kind of do anything. And so make it easy for it to know what you're trying to do by just rambling with voice as much into it. Also makes it great on mobile as well. Yeah, I think the voice is the best thing. Yes, it literally, completely. Being able to talk to it, because typing, if you're impatient, it does take too long to type everything you want. And we're used to typing needing to be like you can't send an email with half-baked sentences and all that. So we're used to typing being a final thing, whereas this is just looking for direction. And so you can just ramble.
You can contradict yourself. You can and ah a million times. You can correct yourself later, going, "No, actually, also do this." Oh, and also I met this person. Blah blah blah. That type of thing. It's just trying to find enough of direction for you from you to direct it, and that makes a massive difference.
Yeah. Okay. Have we left anything out?
I think probably if you were to take those 3 tips, the first thing you should do is say, "I've just got this Claude or ChatGPT license. I'm trying to figure out how to use it and what I should do with it. And then use those things that I just suggested. That's what you should do.
Yeah.
And be ambitious.
Be ambitious. Be curious.
Yes, definitely.
Just question.
Be impatient.
Yeah. And the thing is, there's no right or wrong. So you can just try.
You can just try, and there's ways to manage all the risks that people talk about, if they are even risks at all anymore. And the reason why I'm impatient is the technology is so powerful right now.
Yeah.
What blew my mind, and this was 2 weeks ago, so ChatGPT just released ChatGPT Work, their equivalent of Claude Cowork.
Yeah.
Download the desktop app of it, and I'd had sold a car a year ago, an insurance company, my fault, not theirs, obviously never cancelled the policy, but it just like auto-renewed. And so I wanted to contact them, get a refund. I did the normal way you'd use AI typically, go through my emails, find the invoice, all that type of thing. But then I said, can you contact them on live chat, like on the web chat on their website? And can you see if you can get a refund for me? For 1 hour, it did the entire interaction for me.
Oh my gosh.
And then I got the refund. Like
hour of your time back.
Hour of my time back. And when I looked at it, every few minutes, so if they said, "Oh, okay, great, give me a few minutes, I'm just going to go look into the system," whatever. Every few minutes, it would nudge them and say, "Hey, just checking if you're still there."
Wow.
It was crazy. When I looked at how it, when I looked at the chat thread, the only thing that I didn't like was the way it opened the conversation was very adversarial. I was like, this is my mistake, not theirs. Like it opened it as going, it opened it as, this is not a formal complaint, but if this is not resolved on this chat, I may lodge a complaint. I was like, no, that's not, somebody's getting paid not that much money in a call center in another country. This is not the way that you want to start their day.
Yeah, that would have been a good thing for next time. Make sure.
Yeah, but the fact that, that was literally just using a consumer tool that anybody in the world has access to, because it just controlled my browser and had access to my personal Gmail. Like that blew me away. And that's available right now for everybody. Yeah. Wild.
It is wild. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your time. And thank you very much for the conversation. The truth is, every generation experiences moments where the world suddenly changes. The internet, smartphones, social media, and now artificial intelligence. It's easy to look at technology and feel intimidated, but maybe this moment isn't about machines replacing humans, because it's about humans learning how to collaborate with machines in ways we could never before. Because curiosity still matters, creativity still matters, and the human ability to question, imagine, and connect will always matter. So maybe the real opportunity isn't to compete with AI, it's to collaborate with it and see what becomes possible. Dawid, thank you very much for helping us understand the future just a little bit better. And if you want to understand more about what Pathfindr does, we will put all the links and everything in the show notes. And if this episode made you think differently, share it with a friend, because this might be the first time in history where not learning something new actually puts you behind. So thank you. And fuck, I'm nearly 50 and isn't it amazing?